Sabaho everybody, welcome back to the channel. And in 2018, we are in the era of smartphones. Everybody expects to get a smartphone, everybody looks forward to smartphones. So my question to you today is, can a flip phone actually even hang in there with any of those other devices that are on the market? Can it handle our daily needs in 2018? Well, I took on this challenge about a couple of weeks ago and I've been using the Kyocera DuraXV. Now this is a military grade 810G rated device that has a lot of durability and a lot of actually tricks up its sleeve. I want to say thank you very much to Verizon for allowing me to check out this device, but I wanted to share with you guys this experience of using a flip phone in 2018. This is TK. Let's check it out. And here's the phone. The box itself is very simple. It's the Kyocera DuraXV, as I mentioned, made for Verizon. In the box, we get the phone, instruction manual, as well as important documents, as well as brick and a cable, a micro USB cable to USB Type A. So the phone has a very unique ruggedized casing, and that's where it gets a lot of its military grade 810G rating. And the reason behind that is everything is actually water sealed. Everything is tightly sealed, and I'm actually, right now this is not sealed, and because I want to share you guys what we have inside. But overall, the actual casing and everything in here, let's go ahead and open it up. It actually has a gasket built in here, so you can see right there where it kind of closes and it seals the battery compartment and it makes sure that everything stays in correctly. The other thing I wanted to share with you guys is that this device not only supports a SIM card, but it also supports an SD card. So I have that information. I already loaded up some stuff in there because I've actually been using it when I go for runs. It actually has a built-in MP3 player as well as video player so that you can use it. Tightening it is pretty much just tightening this screw and it kind of gets the water seal done correctly. And then once you have it done, it's pretty much flush with the back. We do have push-to-talk volume and as well as a 5 megapixel sensor with flash. The display is a color display. Let's go ahead and power on the device since I took out battery. We have a shortcut button for camera as well as speaker. We have a microphone for shortcuts to be able to use voice commands. It's not the Google Assistant, but it's definitely something you can use. Of course, we have the T9 typing. You have a built-in speaker at the bottom, and it actually is about an almost 2-inch display. It's a color display, and it's pretty reasonable. So using it as a daily driver had a couple of things first. First thing you're going to realize is there's that shock, the initial shock of not having all those applications that you're normally used to on your device. So that's one of the limitations you have to keep in mind. But I think this is where this device shines in a different way. This is really meant to be specifically a device that performs well. It does a great job of making and receiving phone calls, taking pictures, sending and receiving messages between two parties, as well as sending and receiving picture messages. And those are things that you expect out of a smartphone. That's something that you'd expect from any phone, and this does it very well. Where it takes it to the next level is where you don't have to worry about the actual phone itself, meaning dropping this device, going into salt water, going into any kind of experience, high temperatures, low temperatures. This is actually a device that's made to withstand a lot of these things. It's water sealed very tightly, as I showed you guys, on all of its ports. I used it as a smartphone as far as just basically being able to go online, as I showed you guys before. This device actually has a lot of little built-in quirks. So on the bottom here, we have a browser. I was able to go and use Google Maps. That's something that you wouldn't expect out of a phone like this. I was also able to go into YouTube, and I'm actually not only that, watch full videos. And because we have a front-facing speaker on this device, you notice all these clicks that I'm making. The grill right here is the front-facing speaker. So when I want to watch a video, I'll go full screen and I'll go rotate. And you'll notice right there, we do also have a mouse cursor, so I'm actually able to control exactly where I want to be able to see it. I can start the video. And you're able to use it, and I can rotate again, hit back, get out of it, and then go home. Using this with the browser is limited, but it is functional. Because we have LTE and we also have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, we have a good number of connectivity. So I'm not only able to basically use it as a device on the actual LTE band, but if I'm in an area where there's low signal, Wi-Fi will help me. Now, where the Verizon experience kind of comes in and kind of helps a lot is the coverage that Verizon has within the area here in Southern California where I live, is when we go hiking, when we go to areas where it's a little bit limited, where T-Mobile doesn't actually have good coverage for me, this actually had a surprising good level of service. It drops as far as the speed, but it still has service and I was still able to use it. So where I find it very, very functional for me is that it has all the basics and it does what it actually has very well. Pictures with the 5 megapixel sensor, not going to be the best pictures, but I think overall it's actually pretty decent. And I did take some pictures here. This was my wife and we were at the lunch here with my son. And what you're getting with this essentially is a really good ruggedized experience. You don't have to worry about this. And one of the things about the military grade 810G is that it actually is rated to go into the ocean, where our smartphones are rated for fresh water. So keep that in mind when you're thinking of a ruggedized phone. This is the phone that you want to take with you when you're going hiking, when you're going doing sports, when you're actually on the working outdoors. This is the phone that you'd want to take, as opposed to a smartphone that has a very big surface that a very sharp thing hitting it will definitely damage your display and could basically change your entire experience. Here, even if the external display gets damaged, your overall is still protected on the inside, as this is your main experience. So using this, I had a battery life for me was rated for about a couple of days with usage of calls, browsing, as well as sending and receiving emails, text messages back and forth with images. So I got about a day and a half, almost 2 days out of this, which is pretty decent. Push to talk service, I didn't get a chance to check out, as I wasn't using that and it's not activated. But the fact of the matter is, one of the really cool things I enjoyed using this for is when I was going for my runs, I would load up my music here, I'd load up like a really long podcast, and then actually just plug in my headphones and run with it, because it's so nice and so ruggedized. I just put it in my pocket. It doesn't take as much footprint as a smartphone would. That's one of the other things. It takes such a small footprint compared. So you'll see right there, it's actually a much smaller, even though it's thicker, it just takes a lot less in your pocket. And it actually works. So when I had the opportunity to use this dedicated usage on this, it took me a little bit of an adjustment on it. I was able to get it to work, and I was able to get a good experience out of it. The fact that it supports an SD card, I think that's nice. It's very functional. You can add additional things to it. It does have a music and a video player, although I don't recommend really watching long videos, but the occasional YouTube video using the web-based version of YouTube is definitely really nice. And actually it's not a bad experience overall. I have to say that the main features of this is this. It's a great phone for the outdoors, for somebody that's working in a, let's say, in a very accident-prone experience, meaning if you're going to be bumping into a lot of things, you're going on vacation, you go into the ocean, those are the things that you want to keep in mind. This is a phone that will handle all of those experiences. Now, is this going to replace a smartphone in 2018? I think whoever's looking for a flip phone in 2018 will not be looking for a smartphone. If you're looking for a flip phone, this is going to be one of the really good options. And Verizon's coverage, top notch again. In very different areas where you go and you usually generally lose GSM connection, Verizon's connections in the US, at least here in Southern California, is very stable and very strong. And LTE connectivity with Bluetooth and hotspot, that was the other thing I loved about it, is that I was able to share my connection if I really wanted to with a bigger tablet to get the experience that I wanted to when I was out and about. And when I don't want that connection, turn off the hotspot and then basically use this as a smartphone and just basically get what I need out of it. So to answer the question at the beginning of the video, can this device handle our needs in 2018? I think it actually handles them pretty well to a certain point. Of course, this is not going to be the application-centric kind of thing. This is not a smartphone. This has some limitation as far as that aspect, but where it exceeds is where it basically hangs with you when you're outdoors. So if you're an active person that likes to go running and bangs into things, or go outside into the, let's say, to the beach, to the ocean, or even go up hiking into areas where reception is not the best, this phone is going to be really good for you, because you got Verizon service that generally goes everywhere. You also have the ruggedization from this device. The military 810G rating on this device means that you can take this into the ocean. Salt water is not an issue for this device. You're not going to get the best camera experience, but again, when you're using this device, if you just use this when you're going for these activities, I think this device will do it for you very, very well. How do I think about this after using it for a couple of weeks? I think it's a great device. It's a great option, still available in 2018. It is available through Verizon, so I'll give you guys a link in the description below. And I want to again say thank you very much to Verizon for allowing me to check out this Kyocera DuraXV, because this device, again, it's almost 4 years old and it still can do a lot of cool things. And again, you can still watch YouTube on it. Not the best experience, but you can still watch it. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think? What are you guys using currently as your daily driver? Do you have, or would you consider ever looking into a flip phone? So like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.